So Ryan Day, for me, he showed a lot of arrogance. A ton in his play calling and everything. He wanted to throw that ball downfield so that Justin Fields could get stat padded and win the Heisman and potentially boost himself up to the number 1 pick. Obviously, that did not happen. Instead, Trey Sermon, he had 331 yards. I tell everybody, he could have had 450. 271 came in the second half. He wasn't getting the ball in the first half because they were trying and forcing Justin Fields to make throws downfield. Well, we didn't have our deep downfield threat in Chris Olave. I mean, I think Garrett Wilson is one of the best, if not the best in the country. Obviously, Devonta Smith is saying otherwise right now, and he makes a way better case than Garrett Wilson. But they started incorporating Julian Fleming on the short routes. That was nice to see. Get the freshman some confidence. But what that offense lacked was balance. It was predictable. Ohio State was not running the ball. They became arrogant. And like I said, he became arrogant in his own self. Defense, I've been getting asked all the time, what's wrong with the defense? Well, here's my theory. Kerry Combs, obviously, he was the defensive, he was the cornerbacks coach with the Tennessee Titans last year. They made a nice run into the AFC Championship. That separation and COVID had an impact on developing a young defense. Look at Justin. How about, speaking of defense, shout out to Justin Hilliard. San Xavier, Luke mentioned him literally 2 weeks ago on the interview, and that's his boy. Shout out to Justin Hilliard coming out and showing out after being mentioned on the Snapbacks and Bowties podcast. Must have heard his name shouted out, felt big, felt confident, went in and balled the hell out for Ohio State. Had that nice pick, nice interception in the back of the end zone. So I feel like it's not fair to judge the young defensive coordinator based off of a year where he was separated from a team when he was competing in the NFL for a Super Bowl, and most of all, COVID-19. And you see what happened in LSU. Look, they got rid of Bo Pelini. First-year coordinators are not getting a fair shake right now. They have to implement a scheme, and they're not even getting a full year, a calendar year in the football calendar year to do so. They have to do it based around maneuvers and protocols set forth by the conferences to operate. Unbelievable. So we had the Tuesday night, we had the college football playoff. We had the drawing, whatever the hell you want to call it, the pageantry for ESPN to get some viewers. I don't know what it is. Alabama was the clear-cut number 1. Clemson also number 2. Ohio State definitely falls to number 3. I guess there's controversy between number 4. I've said it from the beginning of the year. The 4 best teams are the 4 best teams in the country. I think Notre Dame beats Texas A&M. I think Notre Dame beats pretty much everybody outside of the top 4. Those 4 Goliaths that are in college football right now, I mean, that's the top 4. Where it's correct. 100%. But that led to these matchups. So look at this. You got Alabama and Notre Dame. That's a 20.5 point favorite for Alabama. Alabama is a 20.5 point favorite. That's what it opened up as. Ohio State's opening up as a 6.5 point dog. I mean, there's not really much to talk about Ohio State and Alabama, but there's so much to talk about for Ohio State. Or not Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame and Alabama. But there's so much to talk about with Ohio State and Clemson. There's with all the bulletin board material going on, you have Ryan Day saying that they're going to beat the shit out of whoever they play, Alabama, Clemson, whatever, in the locker room after the Big Ten championship. You have Dabo Swinney putting Ohio State number 11 in his coaches poll. You have him saying that Ohio State really doesn't deserve to get into the college football playoff because of how many games that they've played. There is so much riding on this game. I personally believe that this is a must-win situation for Ohio State. If I was to go and bet this game, I'm putting all my money on Ohio State because I'm an emotional guy. A lot of people that are more gamblers and bet, they will tell you it's a dumb mistake to take Ohio State because they're 0-4. They are 0-4 against Clemson. They need this for recruiting. They need this for everything, for confidence. Wins in the Big Ten mean nothing. Nothing at all when the end result is not being able to compete on a national level. And that's what Clemson has been able to prevent Ohio State from doing over so many different years. I mean, 1978, they lost in the Gator Bowl 15-17. That was the famous Woody Hayes game. That's when it all went downhill. He threw the punch, game over. 2014 Orange Bowl, they lost 35-40. That's Braxton Miller's late interception. Sealed it for Clemson. OSU was a 3-point favorite in that game. You had the 2016 Fiesta Bowl, college football semifinal. Everybody wants to forget about this. 31-0. That's famous for the 31-0 meme posted for years after that. Ohio State was once again a 3-point favorite. Now you go back last year, 2019. That was the loss, 23-29. Justin Fields threw the late interception, then had the controversial fumble reversal against Ohio State. I mean, they were a 6.5-point underdog then. Ohio State and Clemson, this game is going to be how I personally feel and how I break this one down. Ohio State's going to come out very, 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 very emotional. They are going to come out physical. They are going to smack them in the beginning, but it's going to be just like last year. Clemson is not going to be held off. My only curiosity is Ohio State going to be able to hold the lead? I would bet that Ohio State covers the 6.5, but do I think Ohio State wins this game? I'm not sure. History tells me no. I'm comfortable enough in saying that I think this is going to be a very good game, and I think Ohio State comes out strong because of all this shit that is being talked. Oh my gosh. And this has been going on since the Fiesta Bowl last year, by the way. If you follow the Ohio State recruiting forums and the Clemson recruiting forums, this has been going on since last year. This is a rivalry beyond anybody's imagination. So, Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama. I believe that game is on January 1st, New Year's. That's going to be exciting.